Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, this is the 27th episode of the SuperNova Show. And I am your host, Colton Roberts. And today, we got a little bit of a discussion video here. I don't have any cast with me today, so it's just going to be me and you. Me, the host, and you, the viewers out there. I'm sure there's some things that you guys want to know about me, and I am perfectly willing to talk about some of the stuff. But we're going to go ahead and do some welcome and introductions. I am Colton Roberts. I'm 30 years old. We're going to just call this the Colton Roberts Show today. Hey, that seems like a really cool podcast that I may eventually do. But yeah, Colton Roberts Show. Yeah, I live in North Carolina, same as Amaru Moses. And yeah, like a lot of things interest me. I'm a huge fan of Star Wars. A lot of the books I like. Speaking of which, Wave 2 of the High Republic just came out. I got some reading to do. But yeah, like I love that. I love playing Dungeons and Dragons with my friends. My best friend, me and him play Dungeons and Dragons with my two sons. If you guys have watched anything on the SuperNova network, you know my sons, SuperNova Alex and SuperNova Rafa. Don't forget the SuperNova network. Like, share, and subscribe, guys. It's good times. But yeah, like all of that, that's good stuff. But yeah, like as I talked about last week, I'm currently unemployed, so I'm not working anywhere. Hopefully soon though. So yeah, like all I'm doing right now is me and my youngest son Alex have been spending the week together because Raphael is at camp. So me and him have been watching a lot of history videos and some other stuff. So if you've never watched the Oversimplified YouTube channel, you totally should. Great content. So we've been watching that. We'll probably finish with that today. With all of his content. But yeah, like good times. This week has been very interesting. Of course, this is Sunday, July 4th. So happy Independence Day there, America. You're pretty old. Yeah, so it's very you are 245 years old. Man, America, you're getting so old. I mean, you're not as old as other countries, obviously. But and things are starting to pick up. This pandemic's rolling all along. So maybe we can live July 4th the way it is. People out there, drink responsibly. If you're gonna drink on July 4th, drink responsibly, please. Do not drive. Do something else. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. I'm sure there will probably be other questions. I love professional wrestling. I like NXT and SmackDown the most. I have not watched Raw in probably 3 months since we stopped the pro wrestling draft. Back at WrestleMania, I won, by the way. My faction won. So that was good. Yeah, like we've got some good stuff. But yeah, like so let's go ahead and move on to my first topic that I want to talk to you guys about every single week. And that's hashtag Aragon remake. Man, that movie was bad. Fox, I don't know what you're doing. You get an intellectual property like Aragon, and you just absolutely destroy it. Now, I will give some credit. Jeremy Irons as Braum Mwah. Wonderful. He is great. But, and like John Malkovich, even though he is a great actor, but he's not really Galbatorix. Those are the only two good things I can say about the movie. The fact that, like, it's not good. Like, the Urgles don't look like what they're supposed to look like. They look like just people. And Roran, he leaves. He leaves in the book so he can go make money so then he can propose to his girlfriend, Katrina. He doesn't do that here. He leaves so that he can avoid getting drafted in the army. That's no good. Yeah, like I did not like this movie. We can do a play-by-play. I don't care. Yeah, movies, all of that. Yeah, hashtag Aragon remake, just so you remember. But yeah, yeah, it's just the introduction of the Dragon Riders and everything. That was a cool scene. You don't see anything though, so that's no good. The fact that every time you see Durza and Galbatorix, he is referring to it as a stone when he knows it's an egg. It's a dragon egg. He knows that. Durza knows that. So whenever you're looking in on their own thought, their conversations, they wouldn't just refer to it as a stone. That is purely for the audience, who, guess what? We know there's a dragon in the movie. We can all figure out that it's a dragon egg. But yeah, like the casting for Aragon, it wasn't bad. He's supposed to have darker hair. The casting for Murtagh was good. I cannot remember either of their names, so I'm not gonna disrespect them by saying that they have. I don't. And the director of this movie was so bad that this guy directed this movie and has never directed a movie since then. That's telling you something. And yeah, like it's just no good. Brahm's death is so stupid, so stupid in this movie. He gets up. Him and Aragon have a fight. They have a falling out after Aragon kills the Razak. Which, guess what? The Razak killed Brahm in the book. Like, that's a really nice moment. Like, as he's dying, he's like hitting the Gedway Ignacia on his hand. So like he's dirtied it up so no one can see it. And at the last minute, he uncovers it, and he's a dragon rider. He had a dragon known as Saphira, which, by the way, Saphira being like, this big and then flying away and coming back, and she's being huge, and she tells Aragon her name. That's ridiculous. In the book, he goes about, once she hatches for him, he has no idea that she doesn't have a name. The rider chooses the name, and him and his dragon discuss it. But so he goes to Brahm because Brahm told the story about Galbatorix's rise to power and him being a fascist weirdo. So he does that, and he goes there and he asks about dragon names, and he gives him the name Saphira, and he's like, so Aragon goes to the dragon and starts giving him all these male names, and the dragon doesn't like it. And he's like, wait, you're a girl dragon. And he's like, wait, could you be Saphira? And she likes the name. And then boom, she's Saphira. Bam. That's good. But, yeah, like, the entire Brahm dying in the movie is just so stupid. Spear through the chest. Like, Aragon could have healed that. Brahm could have healed that himself. But it was because he was poisoned by the Razak, and he couldn't heal that in the books. There was no healing that. But they killed the Razak off, which means there might not be any more for later material. So they're not going to be able to ever do an Eldest sequel or a Bersinger sequel or, an Inheritance sequel from the book. So you got to remake it. Disney, you are out there. Look at all those tweets that we've done. You have to remake this series. You have to. It's just that would be so much better if you did that. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about the Aragon remake. Remake it. You're gonna make money by remaking Aragon. So yeah, that's all I gotta say about that. Now we're gonna go into movies. All right. So last weekend I saw a little film. You guys may have heard of it. F9 - the Fast Saga. So that was a movie. It is a movie that exists, and I was not exactly super thrilled with it. I went and watched it with my kids and my wife and my in-laws, my sister-in-law and her boyfriend. To say it was abysmal is an understatement. Like, they talk about in the movie about how Tyrese Gibson and Ludacris's characters, they need to use physics really well to get into space so they can deactivate this satellite. But the entire movie disobeys the laws of physics completely. How in the world did Dom know that rope that was on the bridge was going to hook up to his tire and be long enough to get him across to the other section of the island? He didn't. That is some bull crap. I'm not one of those people I'm just going to rant about movies, but it was all of it. It was so bad. Like, Han being brought back, like, that means in the 7th movie, whenever they're having this big thing, with Shaw about, oh, he killed Han, we got to go get him, and that Mr. Nobody is like, hey, he's going to get the God's eye. You better stop him. And also, he killed Han. So he's using the motivation that he killed. They're using the motivation that he killed Han to go after Deckard Shaw. He didn't kill Han. So that means that is a huge lie. Like, I know, like, I can't stand that they brought him back. Like, his death was a big moment in either Tokyo Drift or the end of 6. Like, I did like seeing Bow Wow and Lucas Black. For some reason now they're scientists. They created a rocket ship. I thought that was cool. I don't like that they stuck it on a car and they sent it into space. That doesn't make any sense at all. Like, and the fact that they used the car to destroy the satellite in the movie, and there's no damage to the car at all. There's no suspense in this movie, because they even talk about how Tyrese Gibson's character talks about how, oh yeah, we're invulnerable and invincible. And when you're talking about that in the movie, then I know no one's going to die. And I know, like, John Cena is a huge star now, or he's becoming a huge star now. Why is it that he could not have just stayed a villain throughout the movie? I do not understand. Like, it's an entire thing. Like, near the end of the movie, hey, we gotta have this prince guy, or the son of the head of state of Germany, or whatever. We gotta make him also a villain, and we gotta bring Charlize Theron's character back from the last movie, make her also a villain, so that whenever they can betray John Cena, and then, even though he may have killed Dom's dad, it's all about family, yo. It's all about family, which, by the way, we've never heard of this brother, so they just invented him out of nowhere. But yeah, it's all about family. This person who is so identifiable with family. Never referred to the fact they had a brother named Jacob. Nope, not once. But we about family. Driving cars and family. Yeah, that's what we all about. Family. Man, I'm so cool. But yeah, like it's just not good. I know, hey, we have to have Cena be a good guy. Yay. We can't just like, have him be the villain for the entire movie and then in the next movie turn him good. Like you did with Deckard Shaw. Yeah, like that could happen too. Oh my Lord. Things could happen. But yeah, like, so that's pretty much that. We're gonna have a 10th movie, which, by the way, I've heard what they're gonna call the 10th movie. The fact that they're doing Fast and the Furious 10 Part 1 and Fast and the Furious 10 Part 2 is ridiculous. It should just be Fast 10 and Fast 11, or whatever combination of whatever you're calling this, because this one was called F9 : The Fast Saga. And that is also real stupid. But yeah, so that's pretty much all I have to say about that. At the end, Deckard Shaw and Han meet up again. So I wonder what that's going to happen. I know we're never going to get I don't think we're going to get The Rock in another Fast movie because Vin Diesel does not like him very much. That happens, I guess. But yeah, I don't really approve of it, but hey, whatever. Now, speaking of movies, I am going to get to watch Black Widow on Friday. So that's going to be loads of fun. I cannot wait. Me and my sons are going to go watch it. It's going to be great. So, not this coming up week, but the next week after that, I think it's the 18th of July. We on the SuperNova show, we will discuss Black Widow in thorough detail. We should be done with Harry Potter by then, so that will be exciting. Next week we'll talk Deathly Hallows Part 2, and then the following week after that, alright, so on the 11th, we will talk about Deathly Hallows Part 2. On the 18th, we'll talk about Black Widow, and then on the 25th, we'll talk about Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, and Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Grindelwald. Since those movies kind of go together, plus I don't think the first one's very good. Spoiler alert. I love the second one, but which, I mean, if you've watched this, you already know that. But yeah, so that's really all I gotta say about Fast 9 and our schedule and stuff. Now, I know me and Amaru have talked about it a lot, but TV, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I love Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. The first 5 seasons, really, really good content. Like, great. Season 6 is a little rough with the entire evil Coulson plot line. I'm not a real fan of that one. And then season 7 with them going back in time and doing all that stuff, I love that. But yeah, so season 1, let's talk about that for just a minute. Season 1 is very interesting. This is the time when the show is trying to get on its own legs, but also be connected to the MCU. So they have that big moment in season 1 where it involves Captain America, the Winter Soldier, the rise of Hydra and the fall of S.H.I.E.L.D. During the entire season, we're seeing these S.H.I.E.L.D. operatives go on missions. So what happens when S.H.I.E.L.D. falls? It's a very interesting time. Like, Bill Paxton's in it. He's a Hydra agent. He's one of the head of Hydras, which is really cool. Great actor. He's rest in peace. It's really sad that he's gone. But it was really nice that in season 7, his son showed up and he played young John Garrett, and which makes sense because he knows his dad's mannerisms probably the best because he is his son, and they look a whole lot alike. So, and we have Samuel L. Jackson in it as Nick Fury. He pops up twice in the show in the first season. So, yeah, it's really interesting. At the end of the first season, Coulson becomes director of S.H.I.E.L.D. and has to rebuild S.H.I.E.L.D. All right, so second season, we have the big Inhumans plotline. Like we find out that Skye is actually Quake from the comics, or Daisy Johnson. We see her mom. We see her dad. She gets her powers. It's really, really neat. But yeah, like it's all good. Coulson's the director of S.H.I.E.L.D., but midway through the season, we have this big other S.H.I.E.L.D. With Agent Gonzalez and the quote-unquote real S.H.I.E.L.D. Yeah, like, so that's interesting. Mac and Adrian Palicki's character, they're part of this real S.H.I.E.L.D. organization. So there's this little tension here. Up until Age of Ultron, where, like, you know, all this stuff happens and they decide, hey, we're going to use the Theta Protocol, which is the helicarrier from Age of Ultron. Super interesting. That is just awesome. The last few moments are really sad. Like, every time I watch it, I cry. Between Daisy and her dad, he's about to get the Tahiti Protocol, and he gets his mind wiped. Yeah, and like Grant Ward is one of the best villains. He is so diabolical. His turn in season 1 is so good, and it just goes through season 2. Like, he's captured at the beginning. He's the one feeding him like Hydra intelligence, but at the end, he's a full-on villain. He's going to take over Hydra. So season 3, like, Daisy is trying to form a team of Inhumans, but at the same time, Grant Ward is doing his thing with Hydra, and that's really interesting. Yeah, like, and this season kind of overlaps with Civil War. Like, the government has a organization called the ATCU that is aligned with S.H.I.E.L.D., and the head of that, Coulson and her, they have a relationship. Grant Ward kills her. And then they go off to this foreign planet because in season 2, Gemma Simmons gets sucked through an obelisk to another planet. That's really interesting. They go back, Fitz goes and gets her, finds out that she's been on this other planet with another guy. And, you know, Fitz and Simmons are supposed to be together, right? Right? And now she's with some other dude? That's crazy. And then they get her back, and they find out there's this ancient Hydra Inhuman. It's called Hive. And Gideon Malik, it's his job to go get him. So he sends Grant Ward in to go get the Hive monster, and he has the power to sway Inhumans. So once he gets back on Earth, he takes over Grant Ward's body once Coulson kills Grant Ward. He comes back through the portal. So he has the ability to sway Inhumans under his control. Which that's really interesting. Like, you see an evil Daisy, and she attacks Fitz, almost choking him to death. But at the end, Daisy's boyfriend Lincoln, he sacrifices himself so he can kill Hive in the middle of space. So we'll have no one to take over, and he's destroyed, and that's awesome. Season 4, we have the life model decoys, and we have Ghost Rider. And that's super interesting. There's a new director of S.H.I.E.L.D. He's a supposed Inhuman. He has super strength, but then you find out that he's only super strong because of a concoction that they used, like what Sky's dad used. He used a concoction because he didn't have inhuman powers to give himself super strength. So, yeah, like the director, Jeffrey Mace, he's not an actual superhero. And at this time, Daisy has gone on the run. And Coulson always wanted her to be the director. Because a superpowered director of S.H.I.E.L.D., that would work. Eventually, they all die. And, not they all die. Jeffrey Mace dies. And Ghost Rider, he kind of saves the day. And Coulson takes on the mantle of Ghost Rider to destroy the life model decoy known as I can't remember her name. Saved my life, but yeah. So yeah, like it's a good episode or season. Season 5, they go to the future. They find out that Quake apparently destroyed the entire planet of Earth. Yeah, it's very interesting. They go back in the past and they find out that General Talbot, who was a reoccurring character, he has taken in the gravitonium. And I guess in the alternate timeline, they have this centipede serum that could have kept Coulson alive, but instead of keeping Coulson alive, Daisy took it and was able to destroy Gravitron. Gravitron. And because of that, the Earth's not destroyed. But apparently in the alternate timeline, they saved Coulson's life, but Gravitron was able to absorb Daisy's powers, and because he's super powerful, he blew up the Earth. And yeah, super interesting. Season 6, not really good. A new Coulson comes around. He's evil though. It's not a good show at that point. But then season 7, they go back in time because they want to stop the Chronicoms from taking over the galaxy. Which Chronicoms are like these artificial life forms that look human and they act human and all that stuff, but they want to take over the entire universe. So they go back in time before S.H.I.E.L.D. was created so they can take over the universe. S.H.I.E.L.D. goes back in time with them. They start off in the early 1900s. They save this guy that then goes on to be the father of Gideon Malik. Yeah, like it's really interesting how the timelines, they go through there and they change it and all that stuff. But it doesn't really change. Like then they come back and they find out that like the universe, it's definitely not MCU related anymore. Like Mac becomes the director of S.H.I.E.L.D. Agent May, she does all this other stuff. She forms a S.H.I.E.L.D. Academy, but she names it after Coulson. Sky is out there on a ship exploring the galaxy. Yeah, so that's pretty interesting. Fitz and Simmons, but they've now had a kid. They have had a kid. So their marriage and everything, seasons long of stuff. They got married, they had children, it was great. But yeah, that's pretty much all I got for that. And yeah, farewell. Please follow me on Twitter at Colton Roberts 8 and follow the show at @SuperNova_show. Next week, again, we're going to talk Schmoedown, Ethan Irwin versus Ben Bateman. And then we're going to do some other stuff. We're going to talk to Amaru Moses about him going into the #1 contenders match against Saul. We're going to talk to Robert about the fan league stuff. Talk Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2, which is my personal favorite Harry Potter movie. And then do Loki episode 4 and 5, and then do Bad Batch episode 10 and 11. So yeah, like this is going to be a very interesting time, but I'm here. I'm signing out. Thank you so much for being on the show. Well, no one's on the show. It's just me. This is the Colton Roberts show, portion of the SuperNova show. Thank you, TMG, for letting us come on here. Don't forget, at Colton Roberts 8, at supernova_show. And if you guys like the Aragon books, don't forget, tweet at Disney saying #Aragon remake. That'd be great. And yeah, that's all I got. I'm going to pull a Robert Kastner and say, tip your virtual waitress. Signing out.